girls, so this is just a quick video about referencing, now that that is one of the things we have to think about for your assessment. So the easiest way to do referencing in the research project or any of your stage 2 subjects is to use a generator. So the one that I use is Cite This For Me. As you can see, it's a website. And then you have to pick a citation style. And this is really important that you think about this, because when you're doing this each time, you need them to be the same. So SACE is pretty flexible. They don't care what system you use, but you have to use the same system throughout. So don't pick Harvard one time and then APA another time and then MLA another time. It doesn't really work. So if we go for Harvard, and then you're given your different source types. Now, websites, really straightforward, right? You just click it, you cut and paste your URL in, and what's really important, so what is a potato? Here we go. Here's my research. Here's my website about potatoes. What's really important is when you're on your Cite This For Me conversion, it's going to pick up as much information as it can from the website. But if you look, it wasn't able to find some of the information, obviously, because it's a crap site. So this is where, if you can find this information online on the website, then you can add to it. So I would say that that is not the title of the page that I would use. I would use full Wikipedia. When you go onto Wikipedia, you'll see that there is like a Wikipedia editing publisher that you could put in if you really wanted to. And then, of course, you can check on the website the date that it was modified. Then you complete your citation, and it will have a lovely little bibliography for you here that you can then copy. It'll also offer you the in-text version for if you're doing in-text referencing. One of the things to remember is that a bibliography must be ordered from A to Z with the last name first. In a reference system, if you're using footnotes, it needs to be first name, last name. So you'll have to change a reference. And that's something that you can think about in more detail after. If you're doing an in-text, then it's just, name, year, and potentially page number. So that was a website one. Now, if you have used any journals, so this one is about nutrient systems. When you look at a journal article, it will have a lot more information for you, and often it will have a number called a DOI. And as you can see down here, it was on the bottom. If I copy that and I choose journal as my source type and I put that in, when I press search, it will actually pick up all of the information for that journal. Now, this one has worked pretty well. One of the problems is that it's not perfect and it hasn't picked up all the authors. So my job now is to go through and put in these authors, so Mark Lawrence, Sarah Dickey, and Julia Woods, and put them into there, and then create my citation. So that's a good example of you can't just rely on Cite This For Me, all right? It only picks up what it can find, and if the formatting of the document isn't perfect, then you need to be able to actually fill it in yourself. The beautiful thing about Cite This For Me is that it does have a whole bunch of different references that you can use. So, for example, when you go to more, it will give you all these other types. So how do you do your email interviews? How do you do an interview? How do you do magazines, newspapers, if you watch something? So this is a really interesting tool for you to use. Often it will mean you have to do a little bit of work and you have to actually go. So for example, say we choose a video, and actually find the information and actually put it in, okay? So if I was to get one off of YouTube, here's my underwater knitting for sport relief. That would be my